What you are about to learn is not positive thinking, it is mental engineering. While the body rests, the mind will work. While you sleep, your thoughts will align with the exact rhythm that attracts opportunity, ideas, and wealth. This is not superstition. It is law. The subconscious mind is the connection between you and infinite intelligence, the same force that inspired Edison, Ford, and Carnegie. They all understood this, that prosperity is not achieved, it is attracted, not chased, commanded. Every fortune begins in the same invisible workshop, the organized, focused, silent mind. When you align your thoughts with faith, gratitude, and purpose, the universe responds as precisely as gravity. So before you close your eyes, release every thought of worry, every fear of tomorrow, every doubt about money. You cannot hold fear and faith in the same mind. You must choose. And tonight you will choose faith. Faith that the world is rich. Faith that opportunity is infinite. Faith that you are ready. Now, listen closely. The reason most men remain poor is not because they lack work, but because they lack quiet. They scatter their energy with talk, comparison, and complaint. They chase advice, tell everyone their goals, and drain the very power that could have created them. You must be different. You must learn to create in silence and act with precision. When others ask what you are doing, smile. When they question your calm, smile again. Because the moment you explain your faith to the faithless, you begin to doubt it yourself. This is why I say, tell no one about the results. They will not understand, and their misunderstanding will infect your faith. The most dangerous contagion in the world is the disbelief of others. Protect your belief like treasure. Speak only where faith is mutual, within your mastermind. Beyond that, say nothing. Now, as you drift deeper into rest, understand that you are not falling asleep. You are entering the laboratory of creation. Every word you hear will become instruction for your subconscious. It will record these truths, repeat them, and execute them while you sleep. You will wake tomorrow and notice something subtle, a new calm, a new clarity, a quiet confidence that feels as though someone else is guiding you. That is not illusion. That is law beginning to act. The same law that moves tides, seasons, and stars has now begun to move through your affairs. You will feel guided toward ideas, people, and opportunities that match your thoughts. Money will begin to flow more easily, not because of luck, but because you have stopped resisting it with fear. Prosperity does not chase, it responds. When your inner state changes, your outer life must obey. This is why I tell you to keep silent. The seed of wealth must grow in darkness. The mind, when focused, becomes magnetic, but when scattered by discussion, the energy weakens. Talk dilutes power, silence concentrates it. Every fortune begins with unspoken conviction. Tonight you will let go of striving. You will stop chasing, stop forcing, stop worrying. You will allow the mind to do its true work, to connect with the infinite. The greatest ideas come not from struggle, but from stillness. That is why the rich seem calm. Their minds are disciplined. You must learn to think as they think. The poor man says, "When I see results, I'll believe." The rich man says, "Because I believe, the results must appear." That one reversal of thought separates scarcity from abundance. It turns work into flow, waiting into faith, hope into evidence. The law is this: whatever you impress upon your subconscious with emotion and repetition must express itself outwardly. You have impressed fear for years, and it has obeyed. Now you will impress certainty, and it will obey again. So as you listen tonight, do not try to analyze or argue. Let the words flow into you as water fills a vessel. The conscious mind sleeps. The subconscious absorbs. Every sentence becomes a seed, and the harvest will appear as money, opportunity, confidence, and peace. When you rise in the morning, act as though it has already worked, because it has. Walk with the confidence of one who knows something the world does not. The world will call it luck. You will know it as law. Guard your new state of mind as you would guard gold. Do not expose it to skepticism. Protect your peace. The mind that doubts one day and believes the next cancels its own power. You must become unwavering. You must live as though the thing desired already belongs to you. Act as if you already possess abundance. Speak as one who commands results. Carry yourself as one who no longer fears the future. The universe responds to that posture. Infinite intelligence cannot deny conviction. Each night, listen again. Each night, strengthen the pattern. Each night, let silence shape success. Repetition builds faith, and faith builds reality. Soon, others will notice the change, the calm in your eyes, the certainty in your tone, the quiet assurance that success is inevitable. But remember your promise. Tell no one. When they ask what you are doing differently, you will smile. When they guess and gossip, smile again. The moment you speak of it, you invite their opinions, and opinions are poison to creation. Let them see your fruits, not your roots. Let the results speak for you. A tree does not announce its growth. It simply appears in strength when the season turns. This is how prosperity comes, quietly, steadily, inevitably. You will wake one day and realize that what once seemed impossible is now ordinary. The struggle will have vanished, replaced by order and faith. You will trace it back to nights like this, when you chose silence over seeking approval, faith over fear, law over luck. So before you drift into rest, repeat these words quietly to yourself. I am at peace. I am rich in thought. I am aligned with the law of increase. Prosperity moves through me with ease. I am grateful, and I tell no one. Let the words echo until they no longer sound like hope, but truth. Let them sink so deeply that even in your dreams, your mind repeats them. For the subconscious never sleeps, and the law never fails. Now close your eyes. Let go of every worry, every plan, every thought of how your only work tonight is to believe. Everything else is being arranged for you. Sleep in faith, rise in prosperity, speak to no one, and watch how quietly the miracle unfolds. Part 1. The Silent Law of Increase. Why prosperity hides from noise. Prosperity dwells in silence. All things that endure are born in quiet. Noise may impress the crowd, but it never builds the universe. Every law of creation, growth, increase, expansion, moves without sound. The seed splits beneath the soil. The tide shifts upon the shore. The dawn appears without trumpet or applause. Prosperity, too, loves stillness. You must come to understand this. The universe does not respond to speech, but to vibration, not to chatter, but to conviction. The man who talks of wealth before he has organized his mind for it disperses his power like scattered light. But the man who keeps faith within himself, who guards his thought with silence, turns that same light into fire. There are two kinds of men in this world, those who announce their plans and those who create quietly. The first live for admiration, the second live for achievement. The first need witnesses, the second require only will. The first lose their energy explaining, the second gain it through concentration. One becomes an echo, the other becomes a cause. The man who boasts of what he will do dilutes the very energy required to do it. His words become a release, not a reinforcement. Every plan spoken too soon loses power, for energy once expressed must rebuild itself. That is why the wise keep silent in the season of growth and speak only when the fruit is ripe. Most men fail because they seek recognition before results. They plant a seed of desire and then, impatient for approval, uproot it to show others. In doing so, they destroy the root system of faith. They have mistaken validation for victory, and when their plan withers, they blame fate instead of their own indiscretion. The law is clear. Everything of value grows unseen first. Roots before fruit, faith before fortune, stillness before success. The greatest achievements of man have always begun in the invisible. Before the bridge was built, it existed in the mind of the engineer. Before the fortune appeared, it was shaped by the silent vision of the dreamer. This is the law of silent formation. It states that the greater the destiny, the longer the silence before its appearance. The farmer does not call his neighbors to watch the seed grow. He trusts the soil to do its work. Likewise, you must trust your own thought soil. Speak less, believe more. Look to nature. The oak spends years deepening its roots before it stretches its branches. The rivers carve silently through stone before the world notices their strength. Even the stars are silent, though they move entire worlds. The lesson is clear. The louder the effort, the weaker the faith. Early exposure of an idea to doubt is fatal. Each time you explain your vision to one who cannot see it, you invite the infection of disbelief. Their doubt seeps into your soil, and the energy of belief evaporates. Your subconscious, once sure, begins to question. And what the mind questions, it cannot command. That is why the great builders of industry learn to protect their dreams until ready. Henry Ford, during his early experiments, told almost no one of his plan to create a car for the masses. His neighbors mocked him for tinkering in barns, but he spoke little and built much. By the time the world noticed, his silence had already become an empire. Thomas Edison spent endless nights in solitude, perfecting ideas no one yet understood. He did not seek applause for the 1,000 failures between discoveries. He knew the seed of genius required the darkness of solitude. The light bulb did not emerge from noise, but from silence so deep that inspiration could be heard. Talking of plans invites resistance. The moment you share your aim, every weak mind around you begins to measure it, question it, shrink it to their size. Soon you find yourself defending what should have been protected. Debate replaces faith. Explanation replaces execution. The plan, once alive, dies in discussion. Silence is not withholding. It is protection. It is the wall around the temple of faith. Inside that temple, creation is sacred. Speak only where belief is mutual, and even then, speak sparingly. For words are tools of communication, but silence is the instrument of creation. Wealth comes not to those who shout, but to those who listen. The universe whispers direction. Only the silent hear it. Prosperity has rhythm, a pulse that cannot be detected in noise. When the mind is still, it feels that rhythm and aligns with it. When it is loud, it misses every signal. Men chase riches through noise, meetings, boasts, gossip, schemes. They mistake motion for movement, but motion without direction is drift. Only the silent thinker whose energy is organized within moves toward purpose. The rest exhaust themselves in activity and call it ambition. The man who learns to work in silence becomes unshakable. His actions surprise others because they did not see the preparation. His progress seems sudden, but it was the result of long, quiet focus. He speaks when results are undeniable, not when they are uncertain. He becomes a mystery to the world because his faith is invisible. When you speak of your purpose too early, you hand control to the crowd. Their disbelief becomes your burden. Their opinions become your prison. Keep your direction between you and infinite